Hey everyone, Emily Grace here, and let me ask you something. What if I told you there are places where being 55 years old makes you more attractive than being 25? Where having a dad bod is fine? Where making $1,500 a month makes you wealthy? Where gray hair is sexy? You'd think I was lying, right? But these places exist, 10 of them. And they're completely off the radar because everyone is fighting over the same oversaturated destinations while these hidden gems sit there with incredible women and almost zero competition. The men who figure this out are living lives that seem impossible. And today, I'm pulling back the curtain on exactly where they are. So what I have done is analyze countries based on 3 specific factors. First, the ratio of attractive traditional women to Western men competing for them. Second, the cost of living that makes it accessible on modest budgets. Third, the cultural openness to Western men as legitimate partners. The result is this list. 10 countries where the math works, where the numbers favor Western men in ways that create genuine opportunities, where you can afford to be there on a reasonable budget, where women who value traditional relationships are abundant and available. Let's break down the 10 best options. Starting at number 10, Poland. Specifically cities like Kraków, Wrocław, Gdańsk, or even Warsaw if you are strategic about neighborhoods. Poland is interesting because it is EU, relatively developed, has modern infrastructure, but still maintains traditional Catholic values that shape how women view relationships and marriage. Polish women are beautiful. Slavic features, often tall, they take care of their appearance. Blonde and brunette, athletic builds, they are genuinely attractive, and there are a lot of them. Poland has 38 million people, roughly even gender split, and the major cities are full of single women in their 20s and 30s. The traditional factor is crucial. Poland is deeply Catholic. This is not casual religious identity. This shapes values around family, marriage, gender roles. Polish women who are serious about faith, which is a significant percentage, want traditional marriages. They want husbands who lead. They want to focus on family and children. Now, Poland is wealthier than most countries on this list. Average salary in Poland is around $1,200 to $1,500 monthly. So you need more budget than in Southeast Asia or the Balkans. But it is still affordable by Western standards. A decent apartment in Kraków costs $500 to $700. Warsaw is more expensive, maybe $700 to $1,000. But in smaller cities like Wrocław or Poznan, you can get nice places for $400 to $600. Food is affordable. Public transport is cheap. You can live reasonably on $1,200 to $1,500 monthly in most Polish cities. The ratio factor is what puts Poland on the list. Many Polish men emigrated to UK, Germany, Netherlands for work after Poland joined EU. This brain drain created gender imbalance in certain demographics. Professional Polish women in their late 20s and 30s have limited quality local options. Polish men who stayed often struggle with employment or underemployment. There is drinking culture. Many live with parents into their 30s. Polish women with education and ambition find local dating market frustrating Western men, especially those who are educated, stable, and share traditional values, are increasingly attractive options. The foreign factor is less of an advantage than in poorer countries, but it still matters. You represent different possibilities. The challenge with Poland is competition from other EU countries. Polish women can easily move to Germany or UK for better opportunities. They do not need Western men for escape. But women who prefer to stay in Poland, who value their families and culture, who want traditional marriages, are genuinely open to foreign men who settle in Poland. A decent apartment in Kraków costs $500 to $700. Warsaw is more expensive, maybe $700 to $1,000. But in smaller cities like Wrocław or Poznan, you can get nice places for $400 to $600. Food is affordable. Public transport is cheap. You can live reasonably on $1,200 to $1,500 monthly in most Polish cities. The language barrier is real. Polish is difficult. but many young Polish people speak English, especially in university cities. You can date initially in English while learning Polish over time. Age gaps are acceptable but not extreme. 10 to 15 years is normal. Beyond that, you need to be exceptional in other ways. Polish culture respects age, but is not as extreme as Asian or some Balkan cultures. The visa situation is EU standard. 90 days tourist, then you need residence permit through employment, business, or marriage. Poland wants skilled workers, so work permits are possible if you have marketable skills. The Catholic values mean Polish women take marriage seriously. They are not interested in casual dating that goes nowhere. If you are looking for a traditional wife who will be devoted partner and mother, Poland offers genuine options in European setting. At number 9, Nicaragua. The sleeper pick in Central America that nobody talks about because everyone is obsessed with Costa Rica or Colombia. Nicaragua is the second poorest country in the Western Hemisphere after Haiti. Average income is around $400 to $500 monthly. This creates enormous economic advantage for Western men with even modest incomes. Nicaraguan women are stunning. Central American genetics, mix of Spanish and indigenous, they have beautiful features. Dark hair, tan skin, curvy bodies. They are feminine and take care of their appearance despite limited resources. The traditional factor is extremely strong. Nicaragua is deeply Catholic and conservative gender roles are clear and unquestioned. Women are raised to prioritize marriage and family. Career is secondary to being good wife and mother. The cost of living is absurdly low. You can rent decent house in cities like Granada or Leon for $200 to $300 monthly. In the capital Managua, maybe $300 to $400 for something nice. Food is incredibly cheap. Local markets have fresh produce and meat for almost nothing. You can live well on $700 to $900 monthly. The ratio is excellent because Nicaragua experienced civil war and ongoing political instability. Many men died or left. Many more emigrated to Costa Rica, US, Spain, seeking opportunities. Women outnumber men in certain age brackets, and quality men are in short supply. Nicaraguan men who remain often lack education or stable employment. There is heavy drinking culture, machismo without the provision to back it up. Nicaraguan women, especially those with some education, find local options. Frustrating Western men represent stability and opportunity, not just economically, though that matters, but emotionally and in terms of how they treat women. Nicaraguan women appreciate men who communicate, who are not constantly drunk, who follow through on commitments. The culture is very open to age gaps. 20 to 30-year differences are common and accepted. Older men are seen as more stable, more serious, better providers. A 55-year-old man with a 30-year-old woman is normal. The language barrier exists. Spanish is essential for anything beyond surface interactions. But Spanish is relatively easy for English speakers compared to Slavic or Asian languages. Many Western men successfully learn enough Spanish to function and build relationships. The visa situation is straightforward. Many nationalities get 90 days visa-free extensions are possible. Long-term requires residence permit, but Nicaragua is flexible compared to more developed countries. Marriage gives straightforward path to residence. The political situation is unstable. The Ortega government is authoritarian. There are periodic protests and crackdowns. This creates risk, but also opportunity, as instability makes foreign men with resources even more attractive. The challenge is infrastructure. Nicaragua is rough around the edges. Healthcare is basic. Internet can be unreliable. You are living in a developing country with all that entails. But for Western men who want beautiful Latin women with traditional values at rock-bottom prices, where the ratio strongly favors foreign men, Nicaragua delivers. At number 8, Paraguay. The forgotten country of South America that offers something unique. Paraguay is landlocked between Brazil, Argentina, and Bolivia. It is one of the poorest and least developed countries in South America. Average income is around $500 to $600 monthly. Most people do not even think about Paraguay. That is exactly why it works. Paraguayan women are beautiful. Mix of Spanish and Guarani indigenous heritage creates striking features. They have that Latin beauty, but often with lighter skin and more European features than you find in other South American countries. The traditional values are extremely strong. Paraguay is conservative, Catholic, and has maintained traditional gender roles more than neighboring countries. Women are raised to be wives and mothers first. This is not controversial. This is expected. The cost of living is incredibly low. In the capital, Asunción, you can rent a nice apartment for $300 to $400. In smaller cities, even less food is cheap because Paraguay is agricultural. Beef is abundant and affordable. You can live extremely well on $800 to $1,000 monthly. The ratio factor is excellent. Many Paraguayan men emigrate to Argentina or Brazil for work. The ones who stay often struggle with employment. Paraguay's economy is informal and difficult. Quality men are scarce. Paraguayan women, especially those in cities with some education, have terrible local options. Young Paraguayan men are often unemployed, living with parents, with no prospects. Drinking and machismo are common without the provision that is supposed to accompany traditional male roles. Western men, even those with modest incomes, are massive upgrades. You have stability, resources, maturity. The economic advantage is significant, but the cultural and behavioral differences matter just as much. Paraguayans are also different from other South Americans in being less jaded about foreigners. Paraguay does not have tourist infrastructure. Very few foreign men go there. You are novel, interesting, not just another gringo. The culture is very open to age gaps. 25 to 30-year differences are normal and accepted. Older men are respected. Age is associated with wisdom and capability. The language situation is unique. Paraguay is bilingual. Spanish and Guarani are both official languages. Most people speak both. You need Spanish to function, but the Guarani element creates interesting cultural dynamics where indigenous values blend with Catholic Spanish traditions. The visa situation is excellent. Many countries get 90 days visa-free. Extensions are easy. Paraguay offers one of the easiest permanent residence programs in the world. You deposit $5,000 in a Paraguayan bank, get a lawyer, and you can get permanent residence. After 3 years, you can apply for citizenship. The challenges are real. Paraguay is hot. Infrastructure is limited. Healthcare is basic. The country feels isolated and forgotten. You are far from everywhere. But for men who want traditional Latin women at extremely low costs where you have significant advantages and very little competition from other foreign men, Paraguay is outstanding. At number 7, Indonesia. Specifically islands outside of Bali, which is tourist trap. Places like Java, Sumatra, Sulawesi. Indonesia is the 4th most populous country in the world with 275 million people. It is majority Muslim but moderate. It has beautiful women, extremely low costs, and ratios that favor foreign men significantly. Indonesian women are beautiful. Southeast Asian features, generally petite, dark hair, lovely skin. They are feminine and modest in dress and behavior. Muslim culture shapes this, but Indonesian Islam is not strict. It is cultural identity more than rigid practice. The traditional factor is extremely strong Indonesian culture, regardless of religion, emphasizes family, marriage, and traditional gender roles. Women are raised to be wives and mothers. Career exists, but is secondary to family obligations. The cost of living is absurdly cheap. In cities like Yogyakarta, Bandung, Medan, you can rent nice apartment for $150 to $250 monthly. Food is incredibly cheap. Street food is dollars per meal. Markets have fresh produce for almost nothing. You can live very well on $600 to $800 monthly. The ratio is excellent for specific reasons. Indonesia has 130 million women, but Western men almost all concentrate in Bali. If you go to other islands, you have massive population with virtually no competition from other foreign men. Indonesian men in many areas struggle with unemployment and underemployment. The economy cannot absorb all the young people entering the workforce. Many men are idle, underemployed, or work informal low-wage jobs. Indonesian women with education, especially those in cities, have limited quality local options. Western men with stable income, even modest, represent significant upgrade. The Muslim factor requires understanding. Indonesian women need family approval for relationships. The families might prefer if you convert to Islam, at least nominally, but Indonesian Islam is flexible. Many conversions are purely paperwork to satisfy family and tradition. Indonesian women are also less westernized than Thai or Filipino women. They are more traditional, less influenced by Western media and values. This means genuine traditional behavior, not performance for foreign men. The culture is very respectful of age. Older people are honored in Indonesian culture. Older men are seen as more stable, more capable, more worthy of respect. Age gaps of 20 to 30 years are acceptable, especially if you are foreign. The language barrier is significant. Indonesian is the national language, and English is not widely spoken outside tourist areas. You need to learn at least basic Indonesian for relationships and daily life. The good news is, Indonesian is relatively easy. No tones, simple grammar, phonetic spelling. The visa situation is reasonable. Many countries get 30 days visa-free, extendable to 60 days. For longer stays, you need visa on arrival that can be extended. Long-term requires work permit, business visa, or marriage. Indonesia wants foreign investment, so business visas are possible if you have legitimate business. The challenges include conservative Muslim culture requiring navigation. Infrastructure outside major cities is limited. Healthcare is basic. The country is sprawling, and travel between islands can be time-consuming. But for men who want traditional, feminine, beautiful women at extremely low costs with very little competition. If you avoid Bali, Indonesia offers massive opportunity. At number 6, Bolivia. The poorest country in South America and one most foreign men never consider, which is exactly why the ratios work. Bolivia is landlocked, mountainous, with population around 12 million. It is indigenous majority, which creates different cultural dynamics than mestizo-dominated South American countries. Bolivian women are beautiful. Indigenous features mixed with Spanish create striking looks. High cheekbones, dark hair, often petite. They are modest and traditional in behavior. The traditional factor is extremely strong. Bolivia is conservative, Catholic mixed with indigenous traditions, and has maintained traditional gender roles. Women are raised to prioritize family and marriage above all else. The cost of living is incredibly low. In cities like La Paz, Cochabamba, Santa Cruz, you can rent apartments for $200 to $300. Food is dirt cheap. Local markets have everything for almost nothing. You can live well on $600 to $800 monthly. The ratio is excellent because Bolivia is so poor and isolated that many men emigrate. Brain drain is severe. Quality men leave for Argentina, Chile, Spain. U.S. women remain with limited quality options locally. Bolivian men who stay often struggle with poverty, lack of education, underemployment. Indigenous men face discrimination that limits opportunities. The dating market for educated Bolivian women is terrible. Western men, even those with modest means, represent massive upgrade. Your income, even if modest by Western standards, makes you wealthy in Bolivia. Average Bolivian income is $300 to $400 monthly. The culture is very open to age gaps. 25 to 30-year differences are normal. Older men are respected. Age equals stability and capability in Bolivian cultural logic. The altitude factor is real. La Paz is the highest capital city in the world at over 11,000 feet. Many foreign men struggle with altitude initially, but you acclimate, and there are lower altitude cities like Santa Cruz if you cannot handle it. The language is Spanish, essential for anything beyond basic interaction. Indigenous languages like Quechua and Aymara are also spoken, but Spanish is lingua franca. The visa situation is reasonable. Americans and many others get 90 days visa-free extensions possible. Long-term requires residence permit through various means. Bolivia is flexible compared to more developed countries. The political situation is unstable. There are periodic protests and government changes. Indigenous mestizo tensions exist. This creates uncertainty, but also opportunity, as instability makes foreign men more attractive. The challenges include Bolivia being very poor, very remote, with limited infrastructure. Healthcare is basic. Internet can be unreliable. You are living in one of the least developed countries in the hemisphere. But for men who want traditional women at absolute rock-bottom prices, where foreign men are rare, and you have enormous advantages, Bolivia delivers. At number 5, Kyrgyzstan. The Central Asian country nobody thinks about that offers something unique. Kyrgyzstan is former Soviet Republic, mountainous, landlocked between China and Kazakhstan. Population is about 7 million. It is poor, remote, and completely off the radar for most foreign men seeking relationships. Kyrgyz women are beautiful. Central Asian features, mix of Turkic, Mongol, Russian genetics. They often have striking cheekbones, almond eyes, unique beauty. They are also more European-looking than other Central Asians, with many having lighter skin and hair. The traditional factor is strong. Soviet gender equality policies created educated working women, but traditional values around family remained strong. After Soviet collapse, traditional values strengthened further. Women want marriage and family. The cost of living is extremely low. In the capital Bishkek, apartments rent for $200 to $300. Food is incredibly cheap. Central Asian markets have everything for nothing. You can live very comfortably on $600 to $800 monthly. The ratio is excellent for specific reasons. Kyrgyzstan lost many men to emigration to Russia and Kazakhstan for work. Sex ratio is skewed female. Quality men are scarce. Kyrgyz men often struggle with alcoholism, unemployment, and lack of direction. The economy collapsed with Soviet Union and never recovered. Many men are idle or underemployed. Kyrgyz women, especially educated ones in Bishkek, have terrible local options. Western men represent stability, sobriety, capability that local men often lack. The culture is Muslim, but not strict. It is cultural identity from Central Asian heritage mixed with Soviet secularism. Women do not wear headscarves. Typically, alcohol is consumed. Pork is eaten. Islam is nominal. The culture is also very respectful of age and experience. Soviet culture emphasized respect for elders. This persists. Older men are given automatic respect and status. Age gaps are very acceptable. 20 to 30 years is normal. Kyrgyz culture is practical about relationships. Older foreign men who can provide are seen as excellent options. The language situation is complex. Kyrgyz is official language, Russian is widely spoken, English is rare. You need Russian to function, which is difficult but learnable. Many younger people understand some English in Bishkek. The visa situation is excellent. Many countries get 60 days visa-free. Extensions are easy. Residence permits are possible through various means and not difficult to obtain. The country is beautiful. Mountains, lakes, nomadic culture. It is called the Switzerland of Central Asia. Bishkek is a pleasant city with Soviet architecture and mountain views. The challenges include cold winters, limited infrastructure, basic healthcare, isolation from major travel routes. You are in remote Central Asia. But for men seeking beautiful traditional women where foreign men are extremely rare, where costs are minimal, where your presence gives enormous advantage, Kyrgyzstan is hidden gem. At number 4, Philippines. Yes, it is well known, but it is on this list because the math legitimately works better than almost anywhere. Philippines has 115 million people, about 60 million women. It is the only Asian country that is majority Catholic and English-speaking. These factors create unique advantages. Filipino women are beautiful. Southeast Asian features, generally petite, lovely skin, beautiful smiles. They are feminine, nurturing, traditional in values. They take care of their appearance despite limited means. The traditional factor is extremely strong. Catholic values shape everything. Women want marriage and children. They want to be wives and mothers. Career is secondary. These are not just words. This is how Filipino culture actually functions. The cost of living is very low. You can live in provincial cities for $600 to $800 monthly. Even Manila is manageable at $1,000 to $1,200 if you live like locals. Food is cheap. Housing is affordable. You can build comfortable life on modest income. Now here is why the ratio works despite Philippines being well known. The vast majority of foreign men in Philippines are in specific areas: Manila, Angeles City, Cebu. If you go to secondary cities, Davao, Bacolod, Iloilo, Cagayan de Oro, there are far fewer foreign men, but plenty of beautiful traditional women. Filipino men have reputation problems, high rates of alcoholism, gambling, infidelity, unemployment. Many women have been burned by local men and actively seek foreign alternatives. The gender ratio also favors men. More women than men in certain age brackets due to male emigration for work. Professional women in their 30s have limited quality local options. The English factor is enormous. You can have deep conversations immediately. You can understand what is happening around you. You can build genuine connections without language barrier. This is unique in Asia. The culture is extremely respectful of age. Older people are honored. Po and opo, respect forms, are used constantly. Age equals wisdom and status. Older men are preferred over younger men. Age gaps of 20 to 30 years are completely normal and accepted. Families approve. Society approves. A 60-year-old man with a 35-year-old woman raises no eyebrows. Filipino women are also genuinely attracted to older men, not just tolerating them. They prefer the maturity, stability, and calm that comes with age. This is cultural preference, not just economic calculation. The visa situation is excellent. Many countries get visa-free entry. Extensions are easy. Retirement visas are available for older men. Long-term stay is very manageable. The culture is also perfect for relationships. Filipino women are loyal, devoted, nurturing. They make excellent wives by traditional standards. They focus on family and take care of their partners. The challenges include poverty being visible and depressing. Infrastructure outside Manila is limited. Natural disasters are common. The country can be chaotic and frustrating. But for men seeking English-speaking, Catholic, traditional women, where the ratio works, where costs are low, where culture genuinely values older men, Philippines is hard to beat at number 3, Cambodia. And Cambodia makes this list because the ratio of attractive traditional women to foreign men outside tourist areas is extremely favorable. Cambodia has 17 million people, about 8.5 million women. Most foreign men concentrate in Siem Reap and Sihanoukville. Phnom Penh and everywhere else have minimal foreign male presence, despite large populations of available women. Cambodian women are beautiful. Southeast Asian features, petite, feminine, lovely skin. They dress well and take care of appearance despite poverty. The traditional factor is strong. Buddhist culture emphasizes traditional gender roles. Women are raised to support husbands and care for families. Career is secondary to family obligations. The cost of living is absurdly low. You can live in Phnom Penh for $600 to $800 monthly. Outside the capital, even less food is incredibly cheap. Housing is affordable. You can live very comfortably on modest income. The ratio works because Cambodia is poor enough that many men emigrated or work abroad. The men who remain often lack education and stable employment. Quality men are scarce. Cambodian men struggle with unemployment, underemployment, alcoholism. Many are idle or work in formal low-wage jobs. Cambodian women find local options frustrating Western men. Even those with modest incomes are significant upgrades. You have stability, sobriety, Resources. The contrast with local men is stark. The culture is extremely respectful of age. Buddhist teachings emphasize respect for elders. Age equals wisdom and spiritual development. Older men are revered. Age gaps of 30 to 40 years are common and accepted. Nobody thinks twice about 70-year-old man with 35-year-old woman. This is normal in Cambodian context. Cambodian women are also very nurturing and caring toward older partners. They understand aging process and are patient and helpful. They provide genuine care that Western women often will not. The language barrier exists, but English is increasingly common, especially in Phnom Penh. You can function initially in English while learning Khmer over time. The visa situation is excellent. One-year visa extensions are easy. Just pay annually and you can stay indefinitely. No complicated requirements. The challenges include Cambodia being very poor, having basic health care, rough infrastructure, dark genocidal history that affects culture. But for men seeking traditional women at minimal costs where foreign men are rare outside specific areas, and where you have massive advantages, Cambodia delivers. At number 2, Albania. And Albania makes this list because the combination of European location, extreme traditionalism, low costs, and very few competing foreign men creates perfect storm. Albania has 2.8 million people, about 1.4 million women. It is in Europe, on the Mediterranean, but costs less than most Southeast Asian countries. Very few Western men have even considered Albania for relationships. Albanian women are stunning. Mediterranean features, dark hair, olive skin, beautiful bone structure. They take pride in appearance and femininity. The traditional factor is extreme. Albanian culture is patriarchal and traditional beyond what most Western men can conceptualize. Women are raised to be wives and mothers. Gender roles are absolutely clear. The cost of living is incredibly low for Europe. You can live in Tirana for $700 to $900 monthly. In smaller cities, $600 to $800. Food is cheap, housing is affordable. You can live Mediterranean lifestyle at third world prices. The ratio is excellent because massive male emigration created gender imbalance. Albanian men left for Italy, Greece, Germany, anywhere offering work. Women remained with terrible local options. Albanian men who stayed often lack employment, live with parents, have no prospects. Drinking is common. Many are functionally unable to fulfill traditional male provider role. Western men, even those with modest incomes, are massive upgrades. Your stability and resources, even if modest, put you well above local competition. The culture is very open to age gaps. 20 to 30 years is normal and accepted. Albanian culture respects older men. Age equals capability and seriousness. Albanian women are traditional and extreme. They cook, clean, maintain homes, raise children. They believe in clear gender roles without apology. They want men who lead and provide. The Muslim label is misleading. Albanian Islam is cultural, not religious. Women do not cover. Alcohol is consumed, pork is eaten. Religion is identity, not practice. The language is difficult. Albanian is unique and unrelated to other European languages, but many young Albanians speak English, especially in Tirana. You can function initially while learning. The visa situation is excellent. Americans get 1-year visa-free. You can stay 365 days, leave briefly, return for another year. This is easiest visa situation in Europe. The challenges include Albania being relatively poor, having rough infrastructure, some areas having clan-based culture that is intense. But for European setting with traditional women at rock-bottom costs where you face almost no competition from other foreign men, Albania is outstanding. At number 1, the absolute best country for ratio of attractive traditional women to competing foreign men at accessible costs, Moldova. Moldova is the poorest country in Europe with 2.6 million people, about 1.3 million women. It is completely off the radar for foreign men, which creates extraordinary opportunity. Moldovan women are absolutely stunning mix of Romanian, Slavic, Turkish genetics creates gorgeous features. Tall, elegant, high cheekbones, beautiful. They dress well and maintain appearance despite poverty. The traditional factor is extremely strong. Soviet-era traditional values mixed with Orthodox Christianity and Romanian culture creates women who want traditional marriages, children, families. Career is secondary. The cost of living is absurdly low for Europe. You can live very well in Chisinau for $700 to $900 monthly. Outside the capital, even less food is dirt cheap because Moldova is agricultural. Housing is affordable, but the ratio is what makes Moldova number one. The country experienced catastrophic male emigration. Hundreds of thousands of men left for Russia, Romania, Italy, anywhere offering work. The gender ratio is severely skewed female. The men who remained often struggle with severe alcoholism, unemployment, depression. They are functionally unable to be partners. They cannot provide, they cannot lead, they cannot fulfill traditional male roles. Moldovan women, even beautiful educated women in their 30s, have absolutely terrible local options. Young Moldovan men are train wrecks. Older Moldovan men are often alcoholics. The dating market is catastrophic for women. Enter Western men. Even those with modest incomes are wealthy by Moldovan standards. Average Moldovan salary is $400 to $500. Your $1,000 or $1,500 makes you upper class. But it is not just money. Western men are sober, stable, employed, functional. The contrast with local men is so stark that age gaps become irrelevant. Moldovan women are not just open to older foreign men, they actively prefer them. Age gaps of 30 years or more are common and completely accepted. A 65-year-old Western man with a 35-year-old Moldovan woman is normal. Families approve. Society approves. Moldovan women are also not naive or uneducated. Many have university degrees. Many speak multiple languages. They are making informed choices about what they need in partners. The culture is European, Orthodox Christian, with values that align reasonably with traditional Western values. The cultural gap is smaller than with Asian countries. The language is Romanian with Cyrillic alphabet. It is easier than Slavic languages for English speakers. Many Moldovans also speak Russian. Some young people speak English. The visa situation is reasonable. 90 days visa-free, then extensions or residence permits. Moldova is outside EU, so more flexible than EU countries. The country is not beautiful but functional. Chisinau has Soviet architecture, parks, cafes. It is livable, not exciting. Wine country is lovely, monasteries are beautiful. The challenges include severe poverty, limited healthcare, political instability between pro-EU and pro-Russian factions, cold gray winters. But for attractive traditional European women, where foreign men are extremely rare, where costs are minimal, where your advantages are enormous, where the ratio is by far the most favorable anywhere, Moldova is unmatched. Let me be direct about money because honesty matters. Economic factors are part of these relationships. Women in poor countries appreciate that Western men have resources. This is not controversial. This is obvious. But reducing everything to economics misses the complete picture. If it were purely about money, women would prefer a 25-year-old wealthy man, but they prefer 55-year-old men with modest incomes. Age and maturity matter more than marginal differences in wealth. The economic factor enables the relationship, it does not define it. Your ability to provide stability creates opportunity. But the actual relationship is built on compatibility, attraction, shared values. Be honest about economic factors. Do not pretend they do not matter. But also, do not reduce everything to transactional exchange. These are complex relationships with multiple factors. Let me talk about what actually makes these relationships successful. First, choose the right country for your situation. If you have $800 monthly, Albania or Moldova work better than Poland. If you need English, Philippines is obvious choice. Match your resources and needs to appropriate country. Second, commit to learning language and culture. Do not remain perpetual tourist. Integrate, learn, participate. Show you are serious about being there. Third, be honest about what you offer and what you want. Fourth, respect the women in culture. These are human beings making choices, not commodities. Treat them with dignity and respect. Fifth, build genuine connections. Look for compatibility beyond just physical attraction. Build relationships with substance. Sixth, understand family dynamics. In all these countries, family is central. Win over the family. Participate in family life. This is not optional. Seventh, be patient. Even in traditional cultures, good relationships take time to build. Do not rush. Do not force. The men who succeed are those who approach with genuine respect, realistic expectations, willingness to integrate, and understanding that these are partnerships, not purchases. These 10 countries offer genuine opportunities for Western men seeking attractive traditional wives. The math works. The ratios favor foreign men. The costs are manageable. The cultural values align with traditional relationship goals. Poland, Nicaragua, Paraguay, Indonesia, Bolivia, Kyrgyzstan, Philippines, Cambodia, Albania, and Moldova all provide abundant, beautiful traditional women with minimal competition from other foreign men at affordable prices. Success requires honesty, respect, commitment to integration, and realistic expectations. But the opportunities are real for men who approach properly. Thanks for watching.